Hi there, good noon, and once again, welcome back to another session on CMAT. I hope that you are going through all of these questions religiously, diligently, regularly, and are benefiting from everything that we put up for you. So, this is the fourth session in the series where we talk about language comprehension questions, which is the label that is used by the CMAT guys to talk about their English section. So, here is a quick overview of the exam for you. So, first up, 180-minute test, 100 questions, +4, -1. You're going to have 5 sections. One of those sections will be language comprehension, which asks you questions based on vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension, and even para-jumbles. I remember one paper where they even gave a sentence jumble, but that was a while ago. So that's the domain that you need to really be prepared for if you want to excel at the language comprehension section. So you are on BYJU'S Exam Prep channel dedicated to your success as a B School aspirant. My name is Vikrant, and I am your personal coach for all things related to English and communication. So tell me, what is it that you want to talk about today? We'll of course go ahead, sit down, go through some questions, but if there is a particular question variety that is troubling you, bothering you, that is making you feel unsure, do let me know so that I can address that today. So use the chat box liberally, and if you enjoy this session, don't forget to press the like button. So yes, Yashi and Ritik, a very good afternoon. Shall we start? So the very first thing that I plan to start with today is a passage. And for the last couple of years, although the number of passages have varied, in 21 we had 4 passages. Last year we had just 1 passage with 4 questions. So I am going to mimic the pattern that was used last year for designing the passage, although RC usually is easier in CMAT and the difficulty level, I mean, if we can call it at all difficult, is pretty low. But today I have tried to at least keep it a little bit above the specific detail questions, right? Vaidehi, vocabulary practice. We definitely have some vocabulary questions as well. And if that is something that worries you more, in our future sessions, in our upcoming sessions, we can take care of that very easily for you. So let's start with the passage. I'll take you through the passage paragraph by paragraph. So here it is on your screen. The moment you are done, let me know in the chat box, and I will take you over to the next paragraph. Done. So can I take you over to the next slide now? So here it is. All right. Thank you for the update, Nidhi, Vaidehi, and Yashi. Taking you over to the next one. And the next one. Okay, so we are done with the passage. So fairly smallish passage. I think when it comes to a lot of these CAT passages, we have kind of become used to reading passages that have close to 500 words, but this one has around 400 words. So let's go ahead and get into our questions now. So here is your first question on the screen, and the moment I get 3 answers, I will start the discussion. So the writer of the passage suggests that. Tell me which of these is true. So what's your answer, guys? Come on. Okay, so we have one answer from Ritik. So let us see. So, okay, Yashi too. So what is the passage basically talking about? Look at the main idea. Throughout the passage, the author has talked about the Russia-Ukraine war and its economic fallout. At the same time, it is also suggested that the long-drawn war will not impact India as much as we thought it would. Remember the very first paragraph. So 6 weeks ago, there was a certain thought. We thought that it will affect us more. Now we believe it is not going to affect us that much. And finally, towards the end, it goes on to tell us that fiscal policy will be needed to boost the economic growth in the country. Now, in this slide, when we start looking at it, India is likely to be significantly impacted. No. The impact of Russia-Ukraine war would be huge on India? No, although the second half is definitely right in B. See, the consequence of the Russia-Ukraine war may not be severe for India. Yup. That is where the discussion, the conversation veers towards in the second paragraph. As fiscal policy is the key to economic growth. That is definitely mentioned in the last paragraph. So C has both the parts right. B happens to get the first half wrong. And D, since nobody has chosen D, I can easily eliminate it, not even bother about it. So if I have to pick one answer, I will go ahead and choose C over the other 3 options. So that's about question number 1. So you realize B had this tiny little problem. It was inconsistent with the second paragraph. With that, let's head over to question number 2. So the previous question was more of a main idea question. This is basically the kind of question that we expect in CMAT. A specific detail or a fact-based question. Let's see what you choose here. Clock is ticking. Give me the answer, guys. So when it comes to this particular question, I'd say that the answer is pretty obvious. There are these lines, and I'll just quote: "The world, however, has not been spared the economic fallout of war. It is working its way in it is working its way into the global economy through three channels." Remember first paragraph. It has pushed up fuel prices separately, other commodity prices and logistics costs have escalated, and finally the uncertainty caused by war is weakening global demand. So if you look at A, B and C, you'd see that these are mentioned. Unsolved riddle is that uncertainty part. Whereas D says it has pushed market indices across the world sky high. It is not mentioned anywhere in the passage. And in fact, even if it had to, the war had to impact them, they'd actually fall down, they'll crash, they'll not soar. And that is why our answer to this question should be option D. B can, once again, B can still be inferred from that part, okay, which says the uncertainty caused by war is weakening global demand. So that uncertainty can still be interpreted as unsolved riddle, whereas D is not mentioned at all. So D it is. And with that, let's move over to the next question. That's what I meant by I'm going to increase the difficulty level a wee bit as compared to the passage that we worked on yesterday. So here is the question. One inference based question. So you notice one main idea, one specific detail, one inference. Let's see what you choose. Yashi, that's a very, very common problem. In fact, some of the exams have started typing it in capital letters as a result. I think I should stick to that practice, but then I want to prepare you for the worst, no? So let's see. Okay, so infer is conclusion. So we just go to the options and label them as true, false, and can't say. So the Russia-Ukraine war has caused the global economy to collapse. Has it? No. So this is not true. So one of the things that I look at is consistency in terms of tone when it comes to inference based questions. Now what does it mean? It means that the answer choice should retain the tone of the facts that it has been drawn from. So the tone in the passage is that of skepticism. There is weakening demand, but collapse would make it extreme and therefore not true. Okay, B, the fallout from the Russia-Ukraine war would be severe on developing nations such as India. False. It is not going to be severe on India. C, a strong fiscal policy is key to India's growth prospects. Last paragraph. True. If things stay the same, crude oil prices will reduce the production of fossil fuel powered industries. Can't say, cannot be determined. Data insufficient. So you label them as true, false, can't say. If you find an answer that is true, you go ahead and mark that as your answer. And that is why three of you have chosen C, and I absolutely agree with Ritik, Nidhi and Yashi on this. So that's question number 3, and here is the last question from this passage. So one more opportunity for you to get this right. Which of the following is true in the context of the importance of fiscal policy in driving economic growth? Go ahead. So it is actually a specific detail question, a fact-based question with a slight twist. देखते हैं इस twist के साथ कैसे डील कर पाते हैं आप. Let us see. थोड़ा सा comprehension चाहिए इसमें. Okay, so if you look at first, second and third, all the three are in fact mentioned in the last paragraph. So if you could refer to the last paragraph, you would find all the three there. Yet, the answer is going to be C. You know why? Look at the question carefully. In driving economic growth, second is going to cushion the vulnerable. The purpose of second is to cushion the vulnerable. The purpose of second is not to drive the economic growth, whereas the other two are also going to help us drive the economic growth. That is the twist that I was talking about. सुबह सुबह इनफैक्ट मैंने डी में ना लिखा कुछ और हुआ था. आई गॉट अप, आई चेंज्ड ऑप्शन डी इनटू फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड, और मुझे लगा यार थोड़ा तो मुश्किल बना है तुम्हारे लिए. थोड़ा तो सैडिस्टिक प्लेजर ले तुमसे गलती करवा के सुबह सुबह. हाँ, और यहाँ गलतियां करने से क्या होगा कि जो एग्जाम देने जाओगे उसमें गलतियां नहीं होंगी. हाँ, सो वीड बी एबल टू close that gate of mistakes in the exam. So you know this was the operative part of the answer choice. So कैसा लगा मेरा trap? Huh? So that's question number 4 for you. And with that, we're done with the passage. You ready for the next segment? Here it is. So what do we have here? A sentence that is divided into 3 parts, A, B and C. And your job is to figure out the grammatical error. If any of these 3 parts happens to have a grammatical error, choose that as your answer. If there is no error, then feel free to choose option D. Right? Yeah, I had this similar formatting challenge yesterday. I have the same one today. So why don't you go ahead and share your answer? I'll not run the timer. I'll see what is wrong with the formatting. Should not have happened today. Okay, so Mayank has shared his answer. According to Mayank, the answer should be option B. Let us see what some of the others think. All right, so let us go ahead and start our discussion of this particular question. I'll give you a hint. The hint is subject-verb agreement coupled with the use of pronouns. So let's see. Geography is that part of science which explain. Now you notice this verb has which as a subject, and whenever you use who, which or that as a subject, they are treated as singular or plural. Well, that depends on the noun that they are close to. So which here is close to the noun science, and science is singular or plural? Definitely not plural, right? And therefore instead of explain, it should have been explains. This verb is wrong, and that is why our answer here should be option C. So geography is that part of science which explains the state of the earth and its various components. So get the drift. Although there are some formatting issues, please ignore them for the day. And let me take you over to the next question, and this time around we'd also have a timer here on the screen. So there you go. Your time starts now. And here is a hint for you. There is a principle that says that we should maintain consistency in the use of pronouns. Now, what does it mean? We've started using one. So subsequently, whenever you refer to this person, you need to use the different forms of one and not the different forms of he. So it should be, one need not be ashamed of one's being a widower. And that is why the correct answer here should be option B. So Sachin, it is not even him. We basically needed ones. Him will also be incorrect. So whenever you use one, use the corresponding form. So one, one's, oneself. Do not use forms of he and one interchangeably in the same sentence while referring to the same entity, same individual, same person. Okay. Here is your next question. Question number 7 on your screen, and your time starts now. Ready? So this has that issue which we get asked very often in CMAT, and that issue is prepositions. So tell me something, you are in a mission or on a mission? We are on a mission, right? Not in. So that is why the in should be replaced by on, and our answer should be option B, which I think most of you have managed to get this. Get right this time around, so I'm not too concerned. Let's get into our next question, which happens to be a fill in the blank question. Remember? So you have a sentence with 3 blanks. One of these options gives you 3 words for each one of these 3 blanks respectively, which are correct for these blanks. So you're supposed to pick up that particular option. Oh, Tarun, why did I not see that? I also forgot to start the timer. The timer is also on now. So please go through that. Was it there, Tarun? I'll just go ahead and have a look at it. Let's see. So if I look at the second blank, I know that it has to be off. You are found either under the tree or in the shade of the tree, which means that C is incorrect. So second is definitely off. Then till you come back to me, for me. I think both of them can work, but in the first blank, if is better, as most of you have chosen. So D is in fact our answer. So D it is. And with that, let us move over to our next question. So in CMAT, you may get the same sentence, the same idea written in 4 different ways, and you can be asked to pick up the grammatically correct way. That's the kind of question that you may encounter. So pick up the grammatically correct sentence from the given lot and share that as your answer. Your time starts now. So I think this question is very straightforward. The call here is, are we supposed to use one of these three prepositions after of, or like B, you put in no preposition? So to, from, of, or no preposition. And I deliberately picked it up because I see a lot of people in the world around me. When I talk to people, I see that they do make this mistake. They use a preposition after opposite in such sentences, which is not right. The correct answer here is option B. We do not require to, from, or of. The office is opposite the bank. You don't say opposite to the bank or opposite of the bank. I see a lot of people use to, and I suspect that a lot of you, when we get this in exam, are going to mark the wrong answer as well. So whenever you use opposite, please make sure that you omit the preposition in this context. Okay, I'm talking about just this context. In some other contexts, things, situations can turn out to be different. Okay. And with that, let us dive into our next question. Change the voice of the given sentence. And this time around, I will not have a timer because some of us may struggle to do it in 30 seconds. But let's see if you can. So what's your take on this one? Okay, a lot of you have chosen B. So B in fact is the right answer. So that's correct. Okay, now, okay, Tarun, I managed to look at that question that you worried about, question number 7. No, need not to be is incorrect. When it comes to need not, technically, if I use a bit of a jargon, it is followed by a bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means infinitive is to plus verb's first form. Bare infinitive is where you do not use to. So need not, so you need not worry. If you say you need not to worry, that'd be incorrect. So there was no error in that part. I'm glad that we clarified it. Huh? So here, by whom is such a sweet song being sung? It cannot be C because you notice singing. Whenever you see continuous tense, you are supposed to use being and then verb's third form. So in C, you don't have being and you have verb's second form. So we obviously have a problem with C. So B it is. And with that, now let's change the game a bit. I have not asked any parajumble to you so far in the CMAT sessions, but here it is for you. So go ahead and tell me what you think of question number 11. There is no timer. The moment I see 3 answers, we'll start. Okay. So Harsh has shared his answer. I have another one from Vaidehi and yet another one from Sanskar. So far all of you have chosen B. And you're right. I think 1 and 3 as a mandatory pair is very obvious. On the one hand, on the other hand. And perhaps every era has its characteristic answer to the question of what dreams are for. Our own time might be defined by its characteristically bifurcated response. Response to what? Response to this concern. So that is why I think yes, 4213 is absolutely spot on. B it is. When you have options, the job becomes easier, isn't it? Even otherwise, I think this was one of those relatively easier questions, but that's the difficulty level that we expect in CMAT usually. So just staying consistent to that. Here is the next one. So some of you were waiting for vocabulary questions. One question type that I have not introduced so far was one word substitution. So let's go ahead with that. So give me the one word substitution for an act of burying a dead person, and your time starts now. Okay, so the correct answer here is option B. Annihilation is total, complete, utter destruction. Intermittent is something that happens at irregular frequency, something that is not happening continuously. And initiation is beginning, the beginning or the start essentially. So B it is absolutely right. Here is the next question for you. A confusing system of connected passages. Ooh, I thought that the last one probably could stump some of you, but most of you managed to get this right. This one I am even more optimistic about. So let's see what you choose. Okay, so the correct answer here is C, maze. What is a mirage? Mirage is an optical illusion that makes you think that you have a water or a mirror on a surface like a hot pavement, surface of desert, right? So that one. So C it is, otherwise I think this was easy. So mirage is not the answer. You already know what column and street are, so I can take you over to the next question. 14th on your screen. Oof. What's your take? And our time is up. So what does it stand for? What is the first word here? Sulk. Well, sulk happens to be the answer. Sulk is what it actually means. Irritate. When you irritate, you annoy. What is a grudge? Okay, now listen to this carefully, because A and C could have been tricky for some of us. Grudge is a strong feeling of anger and dislike for a person who has treated you badly, or at least for a person whom you think has treated you badly. And especially, it is a feeling that lasts for a long time. But when it comes to a grudge, you may discuss it with other people. You may not talk about it to the person you have a grudge against. You may not talk about it to that person, but you will talk about it to the others. Whereas when it comes to sulk, you don't talk. You keep it within yourself. Others see that you are upset, that you're angry. When they ask you what's wrong, you're like, nothing. It's just simmering inside without sharing it with anyone, and all of us know what a fight is. So our answer here is A. A and C were close. So if you got that wrong, I can understand. But B and D, no, not really. See, look at this. Be angry or upset about something, but that should have been irritated. In irritate, you are the instigator. In irritate, you are the one who's bothering others. See that? So ये वाला कोई बात नहीं ऋतिक, आज पहली बार सुना, आज मीनिंग पता चल गया. I don't know, but I see a lot of people have dated others, and when you date, you have a significant other, and if you upset that significant other, I don't know whether you've experienced it or not, but there are times when that person does not tell you what is wrong, does not even tell you whether there is something wrong or not. It is there on the face, but that person does not talk about it until a few months later, when all of those things are brought to an argument to defeat you rather holistically, rather convincingly. Does that ring a bell? So ये sulk. चले, ये रहा हमारा अगला सवाल. Question number 15 on your screen, and this time around I've given you an idiom and you're supposed to share its meaning with me. Your time starts now. और भाई सेशन यूजफुल लग रहा हो, इससे कुछ फायदा होता लग रहा हो तो लाइक जरूर कर दीजिएगा. इफ यू फाइंड द सेशन यूजफुल, डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक इट. I think Sanskar and Anshuman do remember. You do remember a fair bit, huh? Yes, Anshuman, who hasn't? Okay, so to be sick as a parrot, the right answer, as Mayank has shared, is option A. If you are sick as a parrot, you're not really sick, you're just disappointed. So for example, he was sick as a parrot when his team lost the match. So he's very disappointed. So that's sick as a parrot. If you want to literally say that the person is very sick, then you don't say to be sick as a parrot. Then you say to be sick as a dog. If you're sick as a dog, then you're very sick usually because of some stomach issues. If you want to be even more specific. So that's about our idiom. So that's what I had planned for you today. And here is a thought for you. Ambition is the path to success, and persistence is the vehicle you arrive in. So make sure that you show up for work every day. We have many more of these sessions coming to you. Last lap is starting from tomorrow, right? Every day at 12 and 3, you'll be able to practice with us. कोशिश करेंगे एक आध मैराथन भी करवा दें आपको इसी बीच. Then we also have this another series going in which is useful for CMAT aspirants, CAT questions. And for even more practice, you can start attempting these daily section quizzes that are available exclusively on BYJU'S Exam Prep app. Besides, if you or anybody else you know wants to be part of this elite group of toppers, do recommend these batches that we've started at BYJU'S. That these batches target CAT 23 and they have tons of features. Of course, live classes, doubts, material, mocks, even GDPI and VAT, but then you also get notes. You also get more than 130 hours of recorded videos. And to make it easy for you to join us, we have our next scholarship test on 29th of April. And if you know anybody who's worried about English, who's not very sure of how to excel at English, I am taking a workshop today at 7. In that workshop, I'll give a detailed strategy of acing the VARC section for CAT 23. So make sure that you attend that. Okay, so that's it from me today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We are on Instagram, Facebook and Telegram as well. So make sure that you join us there, and we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get even more questions from you. So until I see you next, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, keep working hard. Okay, just a few more days to go now. Take care. Have a nice day, guys.